All right, so we're moving on to not only a new book, but to a new lesson. So we're moving away from fractions and now going back to talking about decimal place value and decimals. So we'll adjust to that by doing this next warm up. So we have a tower of blocks. So just picture a bunch of blocks stacked on top of each other, and there's 3 layers to it. And each of those layers has 8 blocks. Write an addition equation and a multiplication equation to show the total number of blocks in a tower. So on the left here, let's do addition. So we have 3 layers and 8 blocks. So we have 8 plus 8 plus 8, and we know that's 24. We speed up when we are multiplying by bigger numbers and more numbers. We can speed everything up by doing multiplication, and that would be 8 times 3, and that gives you 24. It's kind of the same deal with multiplying by a decimal. What's tricky for that is sometimes kids get confused by where to put that decimal point in your final answer or your product. And that's what we'll be kind of teaching you over the course of the week. All right, so there's that. Go ahead and open up to page 309. And let's talk about this one. And you have the picture in your book in front of you. So Margot has 6 square tiles of equal size. Each side of each tile is 8/10 inch long. Margot places all the tiles in a row with sides touching as shown. How long is the row of tiles? So we want the complete length from end to end of those tiles. So we can do this 2 ways. We can do it by adding, or we can do it by multiplying. Um, so for this, so just make sure we have 6 square tiles. We're going to do this 6 times. So 8/10 plus 8/10, that gives us 1.6. 1.6 plus 8/10, that gives us 2.4. 2.4 plus 8/10 gives us 3.2. 3.2 plus 8/10, that gives us 4.0. And the last one, number 6, 4.0 plus 8/10 equals 4 and 8/10 inches. All right, so that's a way to do it. You could also stack all these vertically and multiply or add up all 6 at once. Or over here, let's have 8/10, and we have 6 of them. And let's do that. So don't focus on this just yet. Let's just look at 6 times 8, and that gives us 48. All right, sorry about that, kids. Okay, so you have the 6/8. You have the 8/10 times 6. I'm just going to go with this. Oh, there it is. Magic. We have 8/10 times 6, and 8 times 6 gives us 48. Now, since we're multiplying by a tenth, this is one place value. So we come over one place value, give us 4.8. We'll delve deeper into that later on, though, as far as easy ways to remember where to put your decimal point. But for now, just multiply your numbers, and then we'll figure out where the decimal point goes after. All right, turn the page. It says, explain how you found the length of the row tiles. So that's simple. We added up each tile. We also multiplied by 6. So those are 2 techniques that we use for that. Let's go on to the next. So these are interesting. These will help you with your IXL today. So if you've got a full square here, that's 1 whole. If you've got a single line up here, that equals a tenth, and a single cube right here, that's equal to that. That's equal to a hundredth. So they want to know what's, you know what 2 times 3 is. You know that's 6, but you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. And then 2 times 3 hundredths, or 3 tenths, excuse me. 2 times 3 is also 6, but notice that this factor and this factor, they both have 3 with their one place value over, and that means our answer is going to be one place value over. Look at this 3. This is 2 place values over. That's in the hundredths place, so that's 6, but it's got to be 6 hundredths, just like that. And that leads us to this next question. What patterns do you see in the factors and products and equations? So the place value of your product or your answer depends on the value of your factors or the numbers you're multiplying by. So, and that'll make a lot more sense moving on to later lessons. But the place value of your product or your answer depends on the value, the place value of your factors. So if you have 2 whole numbers, your answer is going to just be a whole number. If you're multiplying, one of your factors is multiplying by a tenth, your answer will be in a tenth. If one of your factors is a hundredth, your answer will be in the hundredth, like above in the example with the pictures. And we'll get into it more when both numbers are decimals and how that affects your answers. Okay, so let's go with our IXL for today is I6 multiply decimal by using a 1-digit whole number using blocks. And if you need any help on that, I'll be happy to show you the way.